All right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. We want to take another look at the SUI price set, and then obviously we will take a look at the underlying ecosystem. There are opportunities right there, especially now that they are getting attention. You see some interesting listings on Binance and stuff like that. More is to come, I promise you that. So taking a look at SUI, all-time highs. The last time I made a video, we were at $2.30, and take a look at where we are right now. So this upward momentum is still going to continue for so many other reasons that I'm going to be sharing in today's video. Before we continue, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video just by delicately tapping the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, and people looking for SUI price updates and the ecosystem will now be able to find this video much more easily. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe because I do TA on SUI and the underlying ecosystem on a regular basis along with other different altcoins. You know what? I don't want to run my mouth too much, but I want to show you some important things here. You see, SUI is number 14 right now when it comes to CoinMarketCap ranking. We were at number 20 something the other day, but now look at what is happening. The competitors on top are really not performing, to be honest with you, and SUI is headed into the top 10. It's going to be fighting the Cardanos and the XRP of the world. And please understand that now we are in a bull cycle. There is no debate about that. What happens is that new people are going to be coming into the market. What are the things that they're going to be seeing first? They're going to be looking at the top 10 here. They'll see Solana, they'll see Ethereum, they'll see SUI. By that time, it will be in the top 10, right? Believe me, I've been a newbie into the crypto market before, and I can tell you with a very high degree of certainty that will propel SUI to even levels that you probably don't think about right at this point. So again, the other advantage is that the other things are weak here. Tron is not really pushing. Tron is not really doing much. Avalanche not doing. So maybe until Shiba Inu, this is when you're going to be seeing a little bit of competition here for SUI. But other than that, if you go back to the chart, you realize that there's a potential, a lot wave count that we could be forming here. For example, we could say this is wave 1 and this is wave 2 right there. Now you're in the third wave, and I mean, relatively speaking, this is usually the most exciting wave, right? Obviously, you have a corrective phase there, and you're looking finally to complete your elite wave count. So, I mean, this is what is to come potentially here for the SUI price set. I would actually consider using my Fibonacci extension tools, right? And then would say, you know what, from the very top of this March area that we were in towards the bottom, we could expect that the third wave would go as high as somewhere right around $7.80. That's around $8 or something like that for SUI. I think, as you can see, that the price, when it's really just decides to move, it really continues just moving. Of course, in the immediate short term, we're not going to go up in a straight line. I mean, you have never seen anything like that, of course, but you can see that we have got main resistance levels here. Number one is the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, and it may actually slam the price back to right around $2.30. This is unlikely, but then again, just remember, this is crypto, right? Never say never. Anything is very much possible, but it doesn't mean that SUI is bearish or anything like that. We could still see SUI really just continue to push towards the upside. So I'm saying that the preliminary price target here is right around $7.80. But of course, along the way to that, we're going to be seeing some drops. Now, the question comes, like, do I only expect something like $8 to be at the peak of the bull cycle for SUI? Definitely not. I think something like $32 is very reasonable. Now, the reason why I think this way is I believe that SUI is actually a very competitive chain. And the question then becomes, what other competitors can it actually catch up to? Number one here is BNB, which you can see is right around $90 billion and $91 billion in terms of its market cap. Now, in that situation, you're looking for less than a 10x. I mean, slightly less than a 10x, right? But last week, we were doing the same thing with Solana. Of course, Solana has moved up, and you can see that in that situation, we're expecting something like a $36 in terms of like SUI, right? So that is great stuff, definitely, especially if you caught it down here right around 96 cents or something like that. This is when I began talking about it, because you may be saying that, you know what, a 10x probably is not all that great. I'm going to be showing you some other gems within the ecosystem that can give you better rewards. But before we do that, let me just make sure that you have the message from our partners over there at BingX, the exchange. You could go ahead and claim up to $5,450, and on top of that, 300 ton tokens if you happen to register and sign up with them. That's a great exchange. Personally, I like them, as I always say time and again, because they are sponsoring my favorite team in the English Premier League, Chelsea Football Club. But other than that, let's quickly jump into the ecosystem. And I think last week, the one that was making a lot of noise was Seat, which is the decentralized exchange on SUI. And I think it's actually doing really well. But I think that the next big one here, immediate short term, is Navy Protocol, right? If you come here to DeFi Llama, you realize that Navy Protocol actually has got the highest sort of value logged. That should be a big enough reason already to try and anticipate something like a Binance listing. And I think even last week we had a mini rally in anticipation of that. So be on the outlook for that. Another one that is just about to launch is something like SUIland. I think they are doing the airdrop right at this point. So in the coming 2 weeks or something like that, SUIland is also going to be dropping. It's also a big one on the SUI chain. This is the Navy Protocol chart, and it looks like the main support level is right around 15 cents. So I won't be surprised if the price comes back to something like 15 cents before we even continue going high. As I said, the rumors of a Binance listing are very much, what can I say, legit. I mean, maybe not legit, but I think you get what I'm trying to say here. I still think it's going to be pushing even much harder than that. And then, of course, we take a look at Cetus. This is the chart of Cetus. With Cetus, we are seeing that Cetus managed to reach something like the 2.618 Fibonacci extension level. And usually you're expecting some kind of short-term resistance from there. So if it pushes back, maybe something like 33 cents, again, I'm not really surprised, but I'm still very much bullish on this whole ecosystem. Any dip that is going to be coming between now and the peak of the bull cycle, I'm just going to be taking it, right? You know that we have got a portfolio in which we bought all these tokens when they were still very much low, right? Let's also take a look at SUI, which is a launch pad on the SUI blockchain. I think it's something that is very relatively tiny in terms of its market cap. This is right around $7 million, right? So there is potential there to grow, and carrying the name SUI, shouting that I'm going to be launchpad on SUI. I think it's a great thing altogether. It has kind of lagged the rest of the things, but we could potentially still be seeing something like 1, 2, 3, and then we are looking for that wave here, the third wave for this one too. So as long as it holds the support level in the worst case scenario, dropping to something like maybe here we could say 8 cents. Is that 8? Yeah, maybe 7.5 cents or 7 cents basically. That will still be something that is very much bullish. I would look personally to accumulate much here, in the hopes of saying that, you know what, if the SUI ecosystem is going to be big, launchpads are going to be big as well, because projects have to launch somewhere, right? Other than that, I'm also taking a look at SUI Swap, and this is right around like a $4 million market cap at this point. This is very tiny, big risk, but also potential great reward. So this is where we are. It's also another decentralized exchange. I mean, what comes to mind is something like, you know, Uniswap or BingX or whatever, Pancake Swap, the kind of thing. So again, everything is just betting on the SUI ecosystem doing just great, and also these projects and the underlying ecosystem taking off as well. So you can see that we held support very much strongly here, right around 4.3. I mean, I would say $0.0042, and we'll be looking to break out, even setting a new all-time high right there. So I expect even a 25x, 30x from this kind of project, because it's just a tiny market cap. We also have got Scallop, which is a lending protocol on the SUI ecosystem, and I think it's going to be in competition with SUI Lend. Let's see how that pans out. But again, if you come here to DeFi Llama, you see that Scallop has got the 4th biggest total value logged. Yeah, under obviously Navy protocol, SUI Lend, Cetus, and something like that. Let's see how SUI Lend is going to be panning out, because if SUI Lend does really well, probably it's going to be hurting Scallop a little bit. So maybe we need to do some kind of portfolio swap right there. Let's just see how things turn out to be. But looking at the chart here, it's still very much solid, and it looks like it's lagging the rest of the ecosystem. But once again, I think everything's just going to be pumping towards the upside, claiming like the previous highs they were having when they were launching back then in March. So that's it with Scallop. I want to talk about Deepbook, which is also another decentralized exchange on the SUI ecosystem. So you see, everything is in competition, but there will obviously be winners which emerge by there, maybe 1 or 2, just like what we're seeing with other, you know, ecosystems like Solana, for example. They've got Radium, they've got Jupiter too, and you know, it's stuff like that. I think this one also is really doing well, but the TVO is not all that great. But I saw something very interesting. I saw that it had like its futures trading open on KuCoin, right? So I'm going to be trying to take advantage of that, and if we see maybe a decisive breakout of this level, I'm going to be announcing a trade alert. If you're interested in those trade alerts, like the one that we were taking with Navy Protocol, I think it was on Friday, you could also feel free to join the page. The link will be down there in the description. Now, other than that, there isn't really much technical analysis that you can do. It's not really giving much information, but I know for sure that if you really start breaking previous all-time highs here, you could capitalize on that. Maybe it's a 15% pump on leverage. That's actually something that is very good. So that was it pretty much. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please like the video, share the video with your friends and family, and then I'll see you on the next one. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.